Hello, and welcome to Pundit Arena's Provincial Preview ahead of the opening round of the Champions Cup. I'm your host, Michael Corry, and I'm joined by our resident rugby expert, Sean McMahon. Sean, how are you?
Not too bad, Mick. How are you?
I'm great. We've got 4 rounds of rugby, European rugby in 5 weeks here. Brilliant way to get going.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. And it's a great way to get over the disappointment of the World Cup as well, so we all want to put that far back into our memories.
Well, I suppose we'll start at the beginning. We've got Ulster up at 1 p.m. on Saturday. They're taking on Bath. An English rugby powerhouse, it's fair to say, but not the team of old.
No, not the team of old. And, if you look at Ulster from their performance in the pool stages last season, they went to Welford Road and they beat the Leicester Tigers. So I don't think they're going to have any fear of going to England and getting a result. And if you look at the pool that they're in, this is probably, you always had to pick up one win at least, away from home in the pool stages. And you'd expect this could be one of them because I think Harlequins are kind of going quite well in the Premiership at the moment as well. So, yeah, big opportunity for them, and they're playing quite well. They should have won the game against Munster at the weekend.
Yeah, they left that one behind them, didn't they?
They did, yeah. They were 1 point ahead of there in the second half. And it was Andrew Conway who actually got that try kind of out of nowhere, really, and Ulster were dominating that second half, and it looked like Ulster's long unbeaten home record was going to finally end. But I think that's probably the one, downside to this Ulster team is that they just kind of lack that killer edge at the moment. They've won a good few games in the Pro 14, especially at home, but they haven't been getting those bonus points, which are so important if you want to be getting home quarterfinals, home semi-finals come the end of the season. So that's probably one thing they need to work on. But they have some players coming back into the team as well. You have Ian Henderson, who didn't play at the weekend, so that'll be a big boost for them. And then a few others like Billy Burns will probably come back into the team for Angus Curtis, who started at half at the weekend. So
what would you say is success for Ulster in this year's competition?
Yeah, I think getting out of the pool is a prerequisite, really. They got to the quarter-final last year. They should have won that quarter-final. We all remember Jacob Stockdale and dropping the ball over the line. So, get out of the pool, and if they can do well and maybe get a home quarter-final, that'd be massive, because nobody wants to be travelling to the Aviva Stadium to take on Leinster, So, hopefully they can get to the quarter-final, but I think we were chatting earlier, if you get to a quarter-final, it's knockout rugby, anything can happen. And potential semi-final could be there for them.
Well, you mentioned Leinster there, and it's probably apt just to move on to
Definitely,
them.
Yeah.
3:15 on Saturday, they welcome Benetton to the RDS. It's difficult to see anything but 5 points here.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? The way Leinster have been playing so far, they've been absolutely blitzing teams, putting up bonus points left, right and centre, except for that game against Zebre, which was 3-0, but I think that was just a strange game in strange conditions, So you look at Leinster's most recent performance against Connacht, and they absolutely pulverised them, scoring over 40 points against them, having the bonus point wrapped up before half time.
Against boys. It's unfair to say it, but it kind of was.
It was, yeah. Obviously we'll chat about Connacht in a little bit and the injuries they have, and that was down to a big part, but you got to respect Leinster for what they've done. They've brought in so many young players, getting their first taste of senior rugby, or even getting a greater taste from bit part roles last season, and they've just been absolutely fantastic. One of the big ones is Ronan Kelleher as well. He's been absolutely brilliant, and a lot of people are expecting him to get that hooker spot maybe in the World Cup. He could get his in the Six Nations, I should say. He should get his debut then.
Well, there's definitely a spot open there now. At number 2 at hooker.
Yeah, because Sean Cronin, he picked up a neck injury during the World Cup, so he's a couple of weeks away. I think he's just gone back to light skill work this week, was what Leinster said. So he's already Ronan Kelleher has already seemed to get ahead of Brian Byrne and James Tracy, which is pretty insane. That kind of level of acceleration and development, in his young career so far.
But as well as that, they have so many internationals to come back. It's actually quite scary.
Yeah, they really do. So you got Josh Van der Fleer, Sexton, Gary Ringrose. Do
you think they'll all play this weekend?
Yeah, I think they will. I think Leo Cullen will be keen to get these guys back into their environment as soon as possible. Those Irish lads, some of them did play against Connacht, but the rest of them have been in camp under Joe Schmidt since the beginning of June. That's a long time to be around the same kind of players, learning the same plays, doing the same thing. And Leinster have had such a successful start. Stuart Lancaster and Leo Cullen will both be very keen to kind of get them back in under their wing, get them used to the calls, all the various tweaks that they've done throughout the pre-season. So yeah, I think they will play this weekend.
Well, Saturday evening the action turns to your lot, the Munster.
Yeah.
And they're playing Ospreys. Ospreys have been really poor this season. But overall, Munster's group, it kind of seemed like the group of death a few months ago. Now with Ospreys' poor form, Saracens obviously with their issues, things are looking a bit brighter.
Yeah, there's a little window of opportunity open up there, but it won't count for nothing unless Munster get that bonus point win against Ospreys. You know, at the end of the day, Racing and Saracens are two really strong sides on paper, at least. So if Munster if they harbour any ambitions of trying to win this competition, you know, it has to come by winning at least one away game. But the way that the pool draw is made, you're looking at Ospreys and you got to go, look, that's a great opportunity to get all 5 points. Ospreys have been disappointing. They lost to the Southern Kings just there at the weekend, but there will be a reaction from that because it was such a shock defeat, and they have to welcome back in some Welsh internationals as well. So Alan Jones, George North, Adam Beard, a lot of guys who are involved in the latter stages of the World Cup. So, you know, that's definitely going to be a boost for them, and you'd expect a reaction. So I don't think it's going to be as one-sided as some people are predicting in terms of a Munster victory. I think it will be tight enough. You know, European games generally are, especially the opening round, you know, when every team is within a fight, you know, and would have dreams of getting past the pool stages, you know. So I think it'll be a tough game, but, you know, like I said, if Munster want to do anything serious this season, like, it has to come with a win there. But
again, Munster have a couple of injuries picked up here. Dave Kilcoyne's obviously been brilliant form recently. JJ Hanrahan. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. So Dave Kilcoyne's ruled out, definitely, as is Chris Clute, who's been very good for Munster this season so far. And obviously the big worry is JJ Hanrahan. He picked up that hamstring injury against Ulster, but Munster have come out today and they've said that the injury isn't as serious as it was originally feared. They're going to monitor it day to day this week with the view of potentially playing on Saturday. You know, the big decision is whether you risk playing him, like, because you have Tyler Blandall there, who, you know, he did well to set up Rory Scanlon at the weekend, but then he threw that intercept pass, nearly lost the game for Munster. He doesn't seem to be the most confident out half.
At the minute,
he's not. So that's a massive call for Johan van Graan to make. You know, I certainly wouldn't want to be making it, you know, because if Hanrahan injures that hamstring again, then he's going to be looking at a very prolonged period of time on the sidelines. So that's just going to be a decision they have to make this week.
Well, I suppose moving to Sunday's action then, and Connacht are welcoming Montpellier to Galway. Again, riddled with injuries. It's going to be difficult to see them get a win here, is it?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, like, we spoke about that Leinster-Connacht game at the weekend, and even going into that match, Connacht had Gavin Thornbury out, they had Ultan Delan out, they had Quinn Roux out, so 3 of your best second rows really. Then they picked up further injuries, so Finlay Beelum in the front row went off with an injury, as did Sean O'Brien. And then you had a situation where Dave Heffernan's coming off the bench, he's a hooker and he has to pack down as a flanker, and you're just, you know, it's not ideal, especially against a side like Leinster, like, you know. And I think the result and the performance of Connacht kind of just, you know, it was a reflection of the injuries that they have. And when you consider the opposition that they're playing on Sunday in Montpellier, you know, they're a massive, massive team, you know, typical French side, like, just big men in the forwards. Guilhem Guardo, Louis Picamoles, a couple of Georgians, you know, big lads. So Andy Friend has already come out this week, or even after the game, I think, at the weekend, and said we can't get into an arm wrestle with these guys, and, you know, he's bang on the money there. But
it's great to see them back in the competition, though.
No, yeah, it is.
And like, on merit.
On merit, yeah. Like, you know, before, when Connacht have qualified for the Champions Cup, it might have been as a result of an Irish province, either Munster or Leinster, winning the competition. So it's great to see them back on merit. You know, they're playing really well, but it's just such a shame that they have these injuries now, because we mightn't be able to get to see what they are actually capable of at this level, at this high European level.
So I suppose to wrap up, Sean, 4 wins from 4 this weekend?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be 3 from 4, and that defeat is going to come to Connacht, unfortunately. I'd love to see them win it. It'd be great for, you know, rugby in that region, especially, you know, their first season back in the Champions Cup. But like I said, the kind of players that Montpellier have at their disposal, you know, and when you compare that to the guys that are missing for Connacht, you know, Ultan Delan might be fit. You know, we don't know yet until the team will be announced later on this week. But it just seems like too much of a gap, too much of a chasm really for Connacht to overcome. So I can't really see them getting a win. Maybe a losing bonus point, but we'll see.
You're not making many friends in Galway.
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's it for us in our Pundit Arena provincial preview ahead of the Champions Cup. I've been your host, Michael Corry. This is Sean McMahon.
Thanks.
Join us again next time.